Thank you very much. Senator Booker.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Ranking Member. Mr. Secretary, we've talked a lot about the terrible history of discrimination amongst black farmers. And we know that discrimination within the USDA farm assistance and lending programs cause black farmers to lose millions of acres of farmlands and rob farmers of their families of hundreds of billions of dollars of intergenerational wealth that land really represented. We know that one of the main sources of the USDA discrimination against black farmers historically and still today is discrimination in the county committee system. Can you talk about the actions you've taken or do you intend to take to root out and bring to an end, finally, the discrimination in the USDA county committee system?
Senator, the thing I can do is to make sure that there's minority representation on all those county committees. When I was secretary before, I exercised that power for the first time ever to make sure that in 300 counties where there were not minority representation, that we had a minority representative. The Equity Commission that I alluded to earlier is in the process of taking a look at all of the issues, and I know that county committees is one of the areas that they're looking at, and I'm encouraged and I'm hopeful that they'll make a set of recommendations relative to the county committee structure that we can then utilize as a basis for going forward. But in the meantime, we'll make sure that there's minority representation on every one of those county committees.
And so you're waiting for your strategy to come from the commission that you've created? Well,
I think it's important. We've asked them to take a look at the systemic barriers that have existed and make a set of recommendations concerning, well, it's actually, the Equity Commission was a result of the American Rescue Plan. You all basically directed us to put this Equity Commission together. So in respecting the serious thinkers that are on that committee, I'm looking forward to their recommendations. We started first with FPAC. We started first with the Farm Service Agency review because we knew that was the area of most concern. And we're looking forward to the recommendations that they'll make.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Recent Inspector General report found that in 2019, the average time for a civil rights complaint to be processed by the USDA was 799 days. Justice delayed is justice denied. What steps are you taking to address this issue?
It's been cut in half since we took back control of the Civil Rights Office, Senator. We are focused. I get a report on this every month. We are seeing more timely investigations, more timely reviews, and more timely decision-making at the Office of Civil Rights. Very, very concerned about this, and we actually have seen that cut in half.
Could your staff reach out to mine and just let us know
Sure.
a little bit deeper in the things that you're doing?
You bet.
I appreciate your attention, and I appreciate that. We know that the Amazon rainforest is being burned down primarily for animal grazing and beef that's being produced out of Brazil. Big companies like JBS then take that meat, ship it into the United States, and repackage it here, and then sell it in our stores labeled as product of the USA. That's outrageous. And it's a fraudulent practice that hurts our consumers, hurts ranchers here in the United States. Product of the USA label claims should only be allowed on meat that comes from animals that were born, raised, and slaughtered in the United States. A petition, I think you know, has been pending at the USDA for 4 years, asking for the USDA to look into the issue. What do you anticipate, when do you anticipate taking action on this?
We are in the process of conducting a rather extensive survey, Senator, on this very issue. We're asking consumers across the United States 2 questions, essentially. What do you think this means when you see product of the U.S.? What do you think this means? And do you place value on it? That would basically form the basis for us to be able to utilize the power that we have to avoid misrepresentation and deception in labeling, and to make sure that the standard for use of that label on a voluntary basis is consistent with what people's expectations are. So I would anticipate and expect, hopefully, sometime this fall, we will have the results of the survey, and from that we'll then begin to look at how we might be able to strengthen significantly the product of the U.S.
Thank you. And again, I would really appreciate you keeping in touch with my team on this as well. Finally, the last question. I know the USDA is working on a new proposed rule on organic livestock and poultry standards that will clarify outdoor access requirements for organic livestock. Organic farms with high animal welfare standards in New Jersey and around the country have been waiting a long time for this rule, and they're being hurt by competitors with animal welfare standards that are lower than the public expects from an organic product. In the final rule that you released during the Obama administration in 2017, the implementation period for egg producers was 5 years. I assume that the new rule, coming more than 4 years later, will take effect very quickly, much more so. When do you anticipate the new rule will be released, and can you confirm that this rule will have a very short phase-in period?
Senator, we want to make sure that whatever we do is able to withstand legal challenge. And so that's going into the process. It's currently at OMB, and obviously it's not finalized until it gets through the process. Our hope is that it gets done sometime this summer. In terms of the time, I think we are looking at making sure that we are structuring it in a way that is the most defensible from a legal standpoint. And I honestly, as I'm sitting here, I don't remember what the timeline is, but I know that it is a timeline that we think is more defensible.
And you'll follow up with us on that as well?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.